What's going on, people? So I wanted to share a few tips and tricks on how I became better at trading Forex. So in a random order, one of the first things that I would say is you need to constantly be working on yourself, on your psychology, on the way that you kind of navigate through your days. Whether you have a kind of daily routine or whether you go to work, whether you work out every day, whether you eat at specific times, whether you're fasting, there's so many different things that you can be doing to be able to work on yourself. You can obviously read books within the day. One of the ways that my students are actually working on themselves is they've gone to the App Store on iPhone, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it on Android if that's the case. There's an app called 75 Hard, right? So I don't know too much about it. I'm gonna personally start it myself very soon. But what it basically does is it gives you a workout routine. It gives you, you need to drink X amount of water in each day. It gives you several different tasks in which you need to complete every single day. And what it does is it tracks it for 75 days straight. Now, I think this is a really great idea. Like I said, some of my students are actually taking part in this app. I believe it costs £5, so it's a very minimal investment into this app, which will ultimately track all of your behavior throughout the 75 days. And then what you're actually going to be doing is you're going to be building habits while you are working through these 75 days that you need to complete on the trot. Now, one of the ways that you can actually improve habits or get better habits and get the results faster is actually by making the habits very, very small. Now, I'm referencing the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Really, really great book. If you haven't read it, I would absolutely recommend it. And one of the things that he says in the book is basically what you want to do is you want to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. So the reason that I think this 75 Hard app is a very good investment is because, one, you're putting money into it. Yes, it's only a relatively small amount, but what you're doing is you're actually putting money into it. So you're going to want to continue and actually finish off the 75 days. And this kind of leads me on to my next point is potentially what you can do is you can just buy a fresh calendar, right? Just one of those kind of ones that you stick up on the wall. And what you can do is you can tick off every single day or cross it off every single time you finish a day, right? So then what you actually have is when you wake up in the morning, you have something to look at, you have something visual. If anyone has experienced this before, what you'll do is actually when you wake up and, let's just say, for example, you skipped a day or you missed out on a day, you'll actually wake up on the next day and you'll look at that calendar and you'll say, look, there's actually a missing cross on there, right? And it's really, really hard to actually allow the fact that you've got a missing cross after, let's just say, doing 10 or 15 or 20 days, right? And you miss this one cross, this one day, and then you're like, okay, well, this really sucks because I haven't completed like my kind of daily routine, my ritual, my whatever you want to do every single day. And this ties in with making good habits easy, because what you're doing is you're convincing yourself that you want to be finishing each day for 75 days straight. And if you don't complete every day for the next 75 days, and you look at that calendar and you say, I've missed X, Y, Z, how many days, it's going to make you feel bad, right? So you're kicking the bad habits because you're making it bad. You're making it hard for yourself because you don't want to miss one of those days and then, leave out an X on that calendar. But then you're also making the good habit very easy because you want to continue with crossing off those days on the calendar. Just realized I've gone on a bit of a tangent there, so apologize about that. Let's get on to the next point. For me, the same as for you probably, and for everyone who starts to learn trading or is in the industry and has been in it for a while. Maybe you're still struggling, maybe you're just about break even, maybe you're just getting to profitability. Most likely your perception of losses are bad. One thing that really made me come to terms with the fact that losses really aren't bad is reading psychological books and trading books. The way that you need to see your losses is, basically you just being able to do business in the market. What you're actually doing is you're making yourself available to be able to potentially profit from the market, right? Every time you take a position, it's not, oh, how much can I make? It's, this is my available risk to be able to be in this trade and to be able to participate in this current market at this current price level with my stop loss where I want it, in my take profit where I want it. And that's ultimately the cost of doing business. Sometimes as traders or as people who are learning to trade, what we sometimes do is we actually forget to reflect on what we have actually come from, right? So looking back at where we have come from and what we've learned and how far we have come is massively overlooked in, the trading aspect, in just general life aspect even. I can tell you for me that it really wasn't that long ago that I was thinking, I really want to be doing this full time. I want to learn, I want to study, I want to do everything that I can to be able to make this happen, right? And then once you're actually finally there, then you kind of just forget about that, and now you've got new goals and you've got new aspirations, and you kind of forget about what your old goals were, and you don't even appreciate them once you actually hit them. This is something that's really helped out my journey, just by sitting down and reflecting on what has actually happened. And this kind of ties into also a bit of meditation. So if you can just sit down for 5 minutes in the morning, going back to building good habits, if you can sit down for 1 minute, then maybe 2 minutes, then maybe 3 minutes, then maybe 4 minutes, and then maybe even if you get to 5 minutes, right? Slowly building these small habits, having an incremental increase is going to help your habits tenfold, Just having these small little, step ups is really where everything starts. Now, I'm sure you've heard this many times, that your health is your wealth. This applies especially to trading, because ultimately your psychology, your mind is, where your health needs to be. Obviously, if you are generally fitter, if you are active in, your general day-to-day life, when you actually come to the markets, you're going to be more focused. You're going to be able to focus specifically on exactly, the rule set that you have laid out for yourself. You're not going to turn up and be sleepy. You're not going to turn up and be tired, right? You're going to, wake up, be fresh, have a shower, potentially even have a cold shower. There was a short clip that I recently saw, and it was, go into the shower and have a cold shower, right? But it's not just about having a cold shower. What you need to do is you need to actually walk into that shower, and you need to walk in with the least amount of resistance. You're going to get into that cold shower, and you're going to stand there, and you're going to tighten up, and you're going to, squeeze like this, right? But actually what you really want to be doing is you want to have the least amount of resistance as possible, because what this is going to allow you to do is to be able to release these stresses, release these kind of toxic thoughts. And obviously what a cold shower does is it wakes you up completely, especially if you're half asleep in the morning, you're instantly straight awake. And I've personally implemented this shower routine into my own life, and I've only seen positive results. I normally go to bed at about 12 p.m, midnight, and then what I'll do is I'll actually wake up, or my body clock will wake me up at about 6 a.m. So the first thing I really want to be doing is, if I'm doing my workout, I do my workout 5 days a week, and then Saturday and Sunday, I take the day off because I have things to do. I have this video to record. I have, normal stuff to attend to, video content to record for my students, and also just having a life and going out and enjoying the sun. So once I've done my workout in the morning and then meditated, I will get straight in the shower, and I'll be a little bit sweaty because obviously I've just worked out. And then I'm, nice and hot. So when I get in that shower, it's actually nice and cool and refreshing. Maybe this is something that you can implement as well, by just having a bit of a workout in the morning, getting yourself a little bit hot and warmed up, right? Getting the blood flowing, and then getting into a cold shower and trying not to tense up. Allow the stress and the anxiety and any kind of issue that you have flow out of your body as soon as that water hits your head and runs straight off your body. Let the issues follow with the water. James Smith, the PT, has recently just said something which I really liked in one of his videos, and I thought resonated with, every trader and pretty much everyone in daily life anyway. The fact that losing £10 is a lot worse, or the way that we feel about it is a lot worse than when we make £10. In our minds, that psychological difference between making £10 and losing £10, the losing is a lot worse than the winning is good. And I think this really ties in with having a funding account, right? So basically, if you're in a job making, let's just say, £1,000 a month, what you actually have to do to make £1,000 a month with a funded account, let's just say, for example, you've got a £100,000 account, right? What you have to do to buy that account is you have to pay, £500, and then you have to obviously pass the challenge. And then once you have the £100,000 account, if you wanted to make your wage, all you need to do is you need to place one trade and make 1%. Then you've made your monthly wage of £1,000, or a theoretical £1,000. Now you kind of take this for granted about taking the the £1,000 that you earn from your job, but now if you went into the market with a £1,000 account and you lost that £1,000, it would feel so much worse than if you were to just make £1,000 from your job or £1,000 from trading. you would just think, oh, now I need to go in and get more, and I need to get more, and need to get more. And it's always like pushing the boundaries. We need to be grateful for these kind of moments, right? So instead of just going, oh, I made £1,000, now I need to make £2,000, now I need to make £3,000. What you should actually do is just go, look, I've just made £1,000 in a couple of hours when I used to have to spend a month at my job and make £1,000. Sit down and reflect on this and just kind of take in and realize that this is such a massive achievement, and this is ultimately what everyone is looking to do. Now, a few trading related things. In my system, we actually have several different ways of being able to get into the market, right? But what I would advise anyone to do if you are looking to join me, or if you're looking to join anyone else, and the other kind of group has several different ways of being able to enter the market, what I would say is you need to focus on just one thing, right? So for me, I have a mind map, right? So it's basically here. I can't show you because, So if you're looking to join me, this is the first thing that I would say that you need to study, right? You need to be able to be fluent and confident with everything on this mind map. Ultimately, what you can then do is I have a few extra things in which allows you to get into, let's just say, miss positions while using this mind map. But don't worry too much on those. What you want to really focus on first is being able to use this mind map fluently and confidently before you then look to move on and expand your knowledge. Because ultimately what you're going to be doing is you're going to increase your stress levels because there's more and more to learn. And then ultimately you're going to just be overwhelmed with analysis paralysis. I have a video on my channel called Trading Session Repeating Phenomenon. What I would suggest is you need to pick either 1 or 2 trading sessions. Now in that video, which I will link just here, I basically go over the general characteristics or the repeating phenomenon in each session, so you can use this information to know exactly when you want to be trading and when it's best for you to actually be on the charts. I also see many people try and backtest absolutely everything in one. Now, how do you expect to understand each concept individually if you don't backtest each of them separately, one by one? When you start learning to drive and you're trying to learn to drive with a clutch and a gearbox, what you need to understand first is how to put the gear stick into the right gears. And then what you need to learn also is how to put the clutch down, how to take your foot off the accelerator, and also how to control the vehicle at the same time. But what you need to do is learn each of these things individually first. And then once you've understood how to control each one of them, then you can merge them all together and then you're able to drive. This is exactly the same with trading, right? You need to learn structure, then you need to learn order flow, then you need to learn POIs, then you need to learn liquidity, then you need to learn XYZ. You need to learn whatever your system tells you need to learn. So take each concept and learn them on its own, right? And then once you've got them all kind of fluent and you understand every single one individually, then what you can do is start weaving them all together, and then everything will come together for you seamlessly. Now this one may sound a bit obvious, but what you actually need to do sometimes is step back and analyze yourself. So sometimes what I do with my students is I will see them struggling, I will see them, doing something or too much of something, let's just say for example being stuck on the lower time frames, and I will tell them, look, you need to take a step back, you're doing too much of this, you're using too much of your brain power on stuff that doesn't really matter. Take a step back and then look at the market from a bigger perspective. Look at yourself from a larger perspective. Do you have anything going on at home? Do you have any issues that you're dealing with? Do you have any health problems that you're dealing with? No matter how little the issue is, what you're actually going to be doing is affecting your trading. So instead of keep going back to the market and making the same issue every single time, what you want to actually do is take a step back. It's going to really help your trading development. Most people think that is kind of counterintuitive, but I actually think it's the opposite. It's definitely positive for yourself. Because what you have is time to refresh, time to relax, time to compose yourself and come back to the markets once you're ready. Taking a forced break from trading the live markets and actually looking back at where you are failing, where you are having an issue, is really going to improve your trading in general. And you also have to address the issues. You can quite easily just kind of, realize that there's an issue and not actually do anything about it. The best thing that I find that I can do here is write down my issue. Then I've actually written it on paper, and then I can ask myself why. Why am I having this issue? What is actually happening to make this issue present in my life? And how can I then resolve it? One of the main issues that I have with school in general is the fact that they do not teach you why you are doing something. So let me just answer this question for you. Why are you watching this video? So you've sat down here and you've realized that you actually need some help with your trading. Maybe you're struggling in different aspects. Maybe you're struggling with your analysis. Maybe you're struggling with your psychology, and you want someone to tell you what to do, or at least advise you on what they would suggest that you do. One of the major things that you need to be thinking about is, are you getting enough sleep? When you're learning all of these concepts, what you're actually doing is you're just taking in information, right? What you actually need to do is store the information. And the only way that we store this information is by getting enough sleep, by recuperating and recharging our minds and allowing it to absorb into our memory bank. There is going to be times where you feel like you don't know anything after you've learned everything, right? And that's because we need to constantly be refreshing our minds and making sure that we completely understand fully everything that we're trying to learn. And the way that we deal with that is by taking a step back, analyzing what we're actually doing, and writing down why you think you're having these issues. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. If you did take something from it, make sure to leave me a comment down below what you took value from. Drop a like to let me know that you've enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos that I upload. I hope you have a great week in the market. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.